tonight's big story. Special Police Battalion stormed the properties of Apollo Quiboloy in Davao in the wee hours of today to arrest him, but the fugitive was nowhere to be found.
Senate President Cheese Escudero suspends the construction of and orders a review of the new Senate building in Taguig after finding out the budget has ballooned to 23 billion pesos.
And lawmakers and teachers groups criticized President Bongbong Marcos's order to include the Bagong Pilipinas hymn and pledge at weekly flag-raising ceremonies.
Welcome to the show. Good evening. I'm Regina Lay.
I'm Pauline Verzosa.
And I'm Shawn Yao.
Heavily armed police swooped in on the Kingdom of Jesus Christ compound in Davao in the wee hours of today in an attempt to serve the warrant of arrest against the fugitive Apollo Quiboloy and his co-accused.
A special battalion comprising officers from CIDG and PNP also simultaneously stormed the other properties of Quiboloy, including Glory Mountain, where they had to force their way in. But the pastor was nowhere to be found.
In the Kingdom of Jesus Christ compound in Buhangin, Davao City, hundreds of Quiboloy's followers protested outside, even harassing our reporter Bril Montalvo and his team. Here's Bril with a big story tonight.
This morning, followers of Pastor Apollo Quiboloy gathered in front of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ compound in Davao City. A show of support for the pastor amid the issuance of arrest warrants against him and 5 others. Authorities for the third time tried to serve the warrants today on the back of child abuse, sexual abuse, and human trafficking charges filed against Quiboloy by the Davao and Pasig City Courts. On standby were policemen from Northern Mindanao, Sorsogon, and Davao, as well from the Special Action Force and CIDG. Air assets were also seen circling the area. As authorities approached the compound, tensions flared. Legal counsel. Even our team was harassed by Pastor Quiboloy's supporters. Amid the tensions, a member of KOJC got hit in the face when they tried to block the police officers.
Natamakan kong combat shoes po gikan sa taas sa fire truck po ng SAF po. Kasi po wala na pong ladder noon. Wala na po siyang ibang matungtungan. Siguro ako na lang din po yung natungtungan niya. So ito, kaya po ganito po yung nangyari.
You will send full battle gear po ng mga kapulisan. Nabigla po kami. Prayer po namin dyan sa loob .
Eventually, authorities were able to enter the KOJC compound. They searched the premises but were unable to find Quiboloy. They also searched for the pastor in his other properties like the Glory Mountain and the Prayer Mountain. In the CCTV footage, you can see how authorities forcefully opened the gate to Glory Mountain after its guards refused to let the policeman in. Other members of KOJC were arrested for bearing sharp objects, including an axe. Even the KOJC compound in Malungon, Sarangani was searched, but again, no Quiboloy. Quiboloy's camp, however, questioned the legality of today's operation.
Bawal po ito sa ating saligang batas kasi ang hawak lamang po nila ay arrest warrant, hindi naman po search warrant. Hindi po pwede na arrest warrant lang ang dala mo, napapasok ka sa isang gated na facility. Illegal po ito.
The PNP for its part called on the pastor supporters to let them do their job.
Nananawagan po tayo doon po sa mga supporters at sa mga kaibigan ni Pastor Quiboloy doon po sa mga lugar na nabanggit po na ang intention po ng Philippine National Police ay i-implement po yung warrant of arrest na inisyu po ng ating mga korte. So ang pakiusap po natin ay maging mahinahon po tayo lahat. Ang inyong pong kapulisan ay nandoon po for official discharge of their duties. Wala pong anumang hangarin ang ating kapulisan na magkakaroon po ng anumang sakitan at anumang pagkakagulos.
Currently, authorities believe that Pastor Quiboloy is still in the country as there is no indication that he has fled. For News 5, Bril Montalvo, We Are One News.
To talk us through exactly what happened earlier today, we have with us on the show now Police Major Catherine De La Rey, spokesperson of the Davao Regional Office 11. Police Major Catherine De La Rey, good evening. Thanks for being with us today.
Yes, good evening, Ma'am Shawn, Ma'am Regina, and Ma'am Pauline, and thank you for having me in your program po. Magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat.
Major De La Rey, can I have you react first and foremost to what the counsel of Apollo Quiboloy said just then in the story that we ran? He says what you did was illegal because the police held only an arrest warrant for Quiboloy and his co-accused, but not a search warrant, and that that was illegal because you entered the premises.
Now, what we did today is a implementation of a lawful order from the court to serve the warrant of arrest against Pastor Quiboloy and his Q accused or the five others. And our move to enter the premises is lawful in the sense that we are there to serve the warrant of Pastor Quiboloy to search the place if indeed Pastor Quiboloy and the five others are there. And even in the rules on criminal procedure section 11, it says that the right of officer to break into building or enclosure. Uh, it also says that an officer, in order to make an arrest, either by virtue of warrant or without a warrant, as provided in Section 5, may break into any building or enclosure where the person to be arrested is or is believed or reasonably believed to be. If he is refused admittance thereto after announcing his authority and the purpose. So in-announce naman po namin yung authority namin, yung purpose namin doon to serve the warrant of arrest. Thus, we have the lawful order, we have the right to enter the premises to search for Pastor Quiboloy and the five other co-accused in the warrant of arrest.
Does that apply to private premises, which in this case
Yes,
it
even
was?
if it is private premises, we have the warrant of arrest. And we are there to search for persons, not for any properties. That is why we don't need to have a search warrant, since what we have to implement or to serve are the warrant of arrest issued by the court against Pastor Quiboloy and five others.
So to clarify, Major, wala pong searching na nagyari sa loob ng mga properties and compounds ng KOJC at ni Pastor Quiboloy, just to make it very clear.
We search for Pastor Quiboloy and five others. We are not there to search for any properties or equipment of Pastor Quiboloy.
Okay, marami rin pong nagre-react, Major, no, in the way this was conducted. As we know, around 4 to 5 a.m., sa almost simultaneous raids, no, in multiple properties. Meron pa sa Samal, meron din po sa General Santos. A lot of people are saying medyo intense daw yung pag-serve. 100 cops, some reports have it. May mga videos na showing na nawa-water cannon pa yung mga tao. Is this the normal protocol in carrying out arrest warrants and presentations of arrest warrants or servicing them? At least kung obviously we know na malaking tao and maraming followers si Pastor Quiboloy. So in a case like his, is this what normally would happen?
Our implementation of the service warrants of arrest against Pastor Quiboloy and five others covers a wide and several areas po, Ma'am Shawn and Ma'am Regina, also Ma'am Pauline. And it includes several personalities. So the police force deployed for such operation is only sufficient or enough po. And then to clarify po, ang police po ang water cannon ng mga supporters and followers po ni Pastor Quiboloy. Kami po ang water cannon kaninang madaling araw, but we didn't react. We remained our composure. Binigay po din namin yung maximum tolerance, and later on naman po of the day, pinapasok naman po kami, and during the search for Pastor Quiboloy and five others, kasama naman po namin yung mga followers and supporters po ni Pastor Quiboloy.
Actually, General, can you just confirm that yung figure that Shawn mentioned, is it true that there were around 100 cops who conducted these simultaneous operations? Because some reports were citing 100. Where did that figure come from? Is that accurate?
Yes. For the three areas that we search or we serve the warrants of arrest.
So total,
mga ilan? We're talking about 100. What's the final number? Do you know?
I don't have the final number, but the deployed the personnel is sufficient enough to carry on the police operation.
Okay.
Major Catherine, ang tanong ko, no, the purpose of this arrest warrant, of course, is to arrest Pastor Quiboloy, and he wasn't found in any of those premises. So, and reports say that Quiboloy is still in the country, no? So, verified po ba ito? And if so, are there any leads sa kanyang whereabouts?
Our information that lead us to the service of warrant of arrest just this morning is on the information given to us that indeed Pastor Quiboloy and 5 others can be found in those areas. However, we failed to see them and capture them. However, this does not mean that we will stop or we will not continue with our mandated tasks as law enforcers in serving the warrant of arrest. So that is why we are encouraging other people who have information on the whereabouts of Pastor Quiboloy to give us information so that we'll be able to once again serve the warrant of arrest against them.
All right, and now that today is over, how does it work moving forward, Major? Do these warrants of arrest, since technically, I guess, hindi siya na-serve, can we consider it as unserved, or is it considered served bilang napasok na dun sa mga addresses? Or how does this proceed? Gagawa po ba ng bagong warrant of arrest, or do the old ones still hold?
The old one still holds, and then we could consider that we have served the warrant of arrest, even though we have not captured Pastor Quiboloy and the 5 others. And still, we will continue to do our mandated tasks as law enforcers in upholding the law.
Okay, so kung hindi pa siya considered served na po yung warrant pero hindi pa siya nahuli, what then happens on the moment na natagpuan na po no, si Pastor Quiboloy? Like procedurally, will that just carry on as usual since na-serve na yung warrant?
If na-capture na po si Pastor Quiboloy, of course, we will bring him to the nearest police station or jail para po i-process for him to face the criminal charges against him po.
Can I just ask why you carried...
So right now, Pastor Quiboloy and the 5 others are wanted persons or considered at large.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I just ask why you conducted the operations at 4 in the morning?
Well, the service of warrant of arrest can be served any time of the day and any day of the week, ma'am.
Yes, I understand that. But why specifically when you guys were planning for this, why specifically did you choose to try to serve the warrants at 4 in the morning?
That is still part of the tactical strategy or for the police operations, ma'am.
So there was a cause behind it. Nisha, it's not a random time that you picked and said
Yes.
maybe we'd have better chance of catching him. Major General, you started this interview by saying that you had reasonable grounds to believe at that time when that Quiboloy was at the Kingdom of Jesus Christ compound in Buhangin, and yet he was not there. This is the 3rd time that you've tried to serve the arrest warrant to him, and again, it's failed. Give us a better sense of how difficult this is turning out to be.
So we are basing our operations on the informations we received on the ground, and any information that we have to act on it, ma'am. So we cannot just ignore any information that we have that Pastor Quiboloy and 5 others are at these places, not necessarily these 3 places. It can also be elsewhere around the country. And it is not only the police of Davao region can serve the warrant of arrest. Any law enforcers that can serve the warrant of arrest issued by the court against Pastor Quiboloy and 5 others.
So this came from a tip, is what you're saying?
Yes, it came from the informations.
Okay. And as Shawn was asking, what happens now, though? You said you had reason to believe when we had General Marbil on the show also on Friday. He said you have every reason to believe that Quiboloy was still in the country. But again, he's looking very elusive at this point, right? Again, this is the third time you've
Yes.
tried to serve the arrest warrant and still nowhere to be found. Do you have reason to believe that he might be being assisted by people in the know?
We cannot say that, ma'am. Rest assured that the Philippine National Police are doing its best to capture Pastor Quiboloy and 5 others as part of our mandated task as law enforcers. Thus, we appeal to the public for any information. And of course, it is much better if Pastor Quiboloy and 5 others will surrender and face the criminal charges filed against them.
Okay, we're going to have to leave that there. We'll keep following this story. Thank you so much for your time tonight. Davao PRO 11 spokesperson, Police Major Catherine De La Rey.
Authorities say they've found more evidence of illegal activities inside a Pogo hub in Porac, Pampanga, including torture rooms and cybercrime equipment. Regina Lay with the details.
It's been 4 days and authorities continue to uncover evidence in this 10-hectare Pogo hub in Porac, Pampanga. After securing a warrant to search the place, personnel from the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission and other law enforcement officers had been making rounds since late Friday night and over the weekend. Their findings revealed the sinister operations going on inside the compound. Operatives have also gotten hold of a Chinese national identified as Wu Feng, who may have key information about the illegal activities happening inside the hub. This person is also a wanted fugitive in China. Authorities found photos of dead Chinese nationals and other incriminating evidence in his cell phone, including a video of what appears to be Pogo workers leaving the premises.
Pinakalat niya na, takas na. So, nagtakbuhan na, di ba? Tapos siya naman, binidyo niya yung tumatakbo para mag-report siya doon sa boss niya na nag-aalisan na yung mga tao.
Over the weekend, authorities also found around 200 computer sets and several cell phone units, fueling suspicions that the hub is also running love scam operations. Authorities also believe that syndicates are running a prostitution den and are incorporating torture inside the hub. PAOK said they found bloodstains in some of the rooms as well as torture equipment like metal baseball bats and metal sticks. They also had specific entry and exit guidelines specially for bringing in girls.
Kasi nga self-contained community yun Para di na lalabas sila, doon na lang sila. Kasi may mga restaurant doon, may mga sauna, di ba? May mga kwarto sila doon. At ka palalabas, kumuha ka na lang ng mga babae, di ba? Oo, karamihan doon Pilipina.
Meanwhile, the LGU of Porac admits to having a hard time accessing the area themselves. The town mayor also confirmed that the establishment has no permit because it was in the negative list of the Bureau of Fire Protection.
Ala na ka man authority po gawin nyo. Then, PAOK PF, kailangan din pa po in search warrant. Baka ta makalog ka rin. Ikatamo, dinidya mo po in power tamo. Kaya katamo, nung wala naman po magreklamo at never at ala naman po ni Netong na nagreklamo kay katamo na they are a victim of human trafficking, torture, prostitution, or yayalwang violation o violence o crime. Karin kay Pogo niya po makanang maka.
As of today, only 21 of the 46 buildings in the compound have been searched. PAOK and other law enforcement personnel will continue their operation up to the last building. For News 5, Regina Lay, we are One News.
We're going to pause for a quick break. Right after that, Senate President Chis Escudero suspends the construction of the new Senate building in Taguig after finding out that the cost had ballooned to more than double of the initial budget. The details when the big story returns. Keep it here.
You're still watching the big story here on One News. Senate President Chis Escudero has suspended the construction of the new Senate building in Taguig after he found out it was going to cost nearly 3 times more than initially projected. The building was initially bidded out for 8.9 billion. But now the budget has already climbed to 13 billion pesos, and Escudero says it will take another 10 billion to finish it.
Hindi questionable, nauuhiyan lang ako. Nakakagulat at masama sa panlasa, nagagastos ng ganito kalaki ang Senado para sa aming magiging bagong tahanan at opisina. Wala akong binibitiwang akusasyon laban kanino man, subalit nagulat lang ako at hindi naging magaang natanggapin ko bilang tagapangulo ng Senado na gumastos ang pamahalaan mula sa kaban ng bayan ang ng ganito kalaki.
Escudero says he's asked Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, as head of the Senate Committee on Accounts, to suspend payments on the construction of the new building until the review is completed. Escudero also says employees likely won't be able to move in even next year, let alone this September, as was the original plan.
Hindi totoo na makakalipat tayo sa bagong gusali, lupa at building ng Setyembre. Hindi rin totoo na aabot tayong makalipat bago matapos ang taon. Kahit hanggang 2025, sa palagay ko'y hindi pa rin. Dahil marami pang bagay na kailangan ihanda.
The new Senate president said all this at the flag-raising ceremonies at the old Senate grounds in Pasay, where he was also criticized on social media for showing up in tattered jeans and a collarless shirt.
That was his first appearance ba naman, I guess, as Senate President.
First flag ceremony.
Well, I mean, yeah, the jeans had some holes in it. It's very cool. It's very hip. It's very Gen Z. But I mean,
there's a right time and right place for any. I know I sound so
exactly.
tita, but
you kind of do. We're showing our age again, but it's the Senate,
it is,
right?
it is.
So, and you are the president. So I guess I understand where the criticism is coming from.
yeah, at least with the outfit. Okay, speaking of flag-raising ceremonies, guys, this Monday's ceremonies were a bit more eventful. That's after President Marcos ordered government agencies and schools to include the Bagong Pilipinas Hymn and Pledge at weekly flag ceremonies, something that did not go down well with teachers' groups. Maricel Halili with that story.
For the first time, the Bagong Pilipinas hymn was sung and the Bagong Pilipinas pledge was recited during the flag-raising ceremony in government offices this morning. This included the staff at Manila City Hall.
Makikiisa at makikilahok ako sa mga adhikain ng pamahalaan dahil ang kaunlaran ay hindi lamang responsibilidad.
This is in accordance with Memorandum Circular Number 52 issued by Malacanang. Under this directive, the Bagong Pilipinas Hymn and Pledge must now be included at the flag-raising ceremonies of all government offices and educational institutions, such as state universities and colleges. According to the MC, the directive is based on Republic Act 8491 or the Flag and Heraldic Code of the Philippines. But legal analyst and FEU Law Din attorney Mel Santamaria argues that this is against the law. He says there is no provision in the said law that grants the president the power to add a hymn or pledge.
Ang Republic Act 8491, ang sinasabi lang 1, 2, 3. Ang ginawa nila, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay?
I see. Okay.
Nagdagdag sila na hindi pinapahintulutan, whether expressly or impliedly, ng Republic Act 8491.
Santa Maria added, if the basis of the MC is RA 8491, it means it includes Section 48 of the law. According to this, violating the directive can be punished with public censure. He added that Malacanang is seemingly forcing government employees, students, and professors to sing the hymn even if they do not agree with other government programs.
Therefore, lumalabag sa academic freedom ng isang propesor na magmalayang magtalakay ng mga issue ng bayan. O kaya, at the very least, magkakaroon ng prior restraint. Magkakaroon na siya ng pagpipigil sa sarili na bigkasin ang gusto niyang bigkas para ituloy ang pagkakritiko ng mga estudyante.
The Teachers Dignity Coalition said adding the new pledge and hymn will take up too much time. Aside from the national anthem and the patriotic pledge, flag ceremonies also include the oath to the Philippine flag and the school's hymn.
Parang ito rin propaganda para mahalin ng mga taong bayan yung administration.
ACT Teachers Party List Representative Franz Castro also criticized the directive, calling it self-serving and a martial law remnant. Castro says it's an attempt to indoctrinate government workers and the youth reminiscent of Marcos Sr.'s Bagong Lipunan branding. The Civil Service Commission defended the new pledge and him.
Yung mga prinsipyo, ang mga sinusulong naman nito mga principles, ang sinusulong naman nito na yung adhikain nito, yung sinusulong niyang gustong ma-internalize ng ating mga government workers is something that is in a positive note naman. It is something that makakatulong sa pagserbisyo ng ating mga government employees.
One News has sought comment from Malacanang but they have yet to respond. For News 5, Maricel Halili, We Are One News.
Miru Systems gave Comelec officials and members of the media a tour of their plant in South Korea today. Comelec Chair George Garcia says they're there to find out if Miru can deliver on its promise of producing over 100,000 vote-counting machines for the 2025 polls. Our reporter Mon Gualvez joined the expedition to South Korea and joins us now with the details. Mon, what do you have?
Ladies, I am reporting here from South Korea, where we were provided a tour of Miru Systems plant where they manufacture the automated counting machines or ACMs. This inspection comes amid concerns over Miru Systems' credibility and qualifications as the automated election systems provider for the 2025 midterm elections. From small parts of the machines to the assembly of thermal printers, scanners, and even the screens. These are just a few of the things personally observed by Comelec Chairman George Garcia, along with the large delegation from the agency at the actual plant of Miru Systems in Anyang, South Korea. Miru also showed the machines they use for past elections in other countries.
Napatunayan natin na ang Miru talaga ay isang manufacturing company pala ng mga automated counting machines. Nakita rin namin na handang-handa pala sila na talagang i-deliver sa atin yung 110,000 machines na kakailanganin natin sapagkat on time at saka yung timeline nila ay sadyang sinusunod.
The Comelec notes that this is the first time in history that they were shown the actual assembly of counting machines for the elections. Overall, the agency says they were satisfied with the manufacturing process.
I am impressed by the speed in which they produce the machines kasi with just that stress test na ginagamitan ng makina na hindi manual, mas mabilis makakat ng more than 50%, 70% yung bilis ng proseso and the accuracy is 100% accurate compared to the manual na ginagamit natin dati.
Miru says they decided to open up their plant for Comelec and members of the media to address concerns against the company.
We would like to minimize any suspicions that anyone might have regarding our productions. So we want to be fair and transparent from the beginning. We have nothing to hide.
The Comelec also assures the public that they will continue to focus on the source code review of the machines.
Yan kasi ang utak, yan kasi ang pag-iisip ng makina. And therefore, kinakailangan makapasa muna siya sa international certification kasi ang offer nga po kasi ng Miru, gawing public ang source code, i-download sa Comelec website. So medyo, again, napakagandang offer po yun, kaya lang siyempre yung security pa rin ang ating iniisip.
Miru says that they can produce up to 1,400 units per day after the quality assurance stage where scanning, recognition, and entry of the ballots into each ACM are checked. They claim that this is sufficient to complete the required 110,000 units by December. Earlier, the Comelec requested last-minute changes to some aspects of the automated counting machines. These include adding labels indicating where the printed election returns will go and simplifying the QR code that shows the total number of votes. The Comelec also wants the removal of the initial option that allows ballots to be returned to the voters.
Sapagkat sa ating palagay, kahit mag-time and motion study tayo, it will unduly delay the voting process. Napakatagal po namang aabutin yan. Dapat po, ang ipakita na lang sa botante yung picture ng kanyang balota. 15 seconds doon sa harap, tapos yung likod, yung party list, 5 seconds.
Ladies, by the end of the tour, the COMELEC advised Miru to create a memorandum of agreement together with the company that will lead the transmission. Miru says they have coordinated with local company I1 for this requirement. Ladies.
Thanks so much for that update. Mon Gualvez from South Korea.
Pausing for another quick break. Up next, with more than 30 million national ID cards still unprinted, the government makes a big push for the digital version instead. We'll discuss this with DICT Assistant Secretary Aboy Paraiso when we return. Keep it here.
Welcome back. You are still watching Big Story here in One News.
Nearly 3 years down the line, and more than 30 million Filipinos still have not received their national ID cards. Have you guys gotten yours?
Not.
No, I know you're the one.
No.
Oh, no, so I'm the only, okay, 1 out of 3 here on the show. So the government is now trying to push the digital version instead. Let's discuss this some more with DICT Assistant Secretary Aboy Paraiso. He joins us again tonight via Zoom. Asek Aboy, good evening. As usual, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Thank you, Shawn, Regina, and Pauline for having me here.
Oh yeah, now we invited you on a good note. No cyber
Yeah.
hacking incident this time.
No
No
hackings.
scams.
Wait,
See, the
let's hold on.
atmosphere is more relaxed now. So.
Okay, so we all know that it got a lot of coverage in the news on social media. We had PSA or National Statistician Dennis Mapa, of course, pushing in an event earlier today the digital version of the national ID. Tell us what are the powers of the digital ID version vis-a-vis the actual physical card, and can everyone expect, no, lalo na yung 30 million Filipinos who still have not received the physical ones, that these digital ones will be honored and then can be used the same way as the physical one?
Well, yes. The president during late last year met up with the ICT, the executives of the ICT and the PSA, for us to instruct us, the ICT, to help out the PSA in rolling out the PhilSys system or the national ID system. Wherein we responded immediately. And in fact, I think last June 10, we officially launched the digital form of our national ID. As you said, ito ho ay tatanggapin ho ng mga ahensya ho ng gobyerno. And we also added another feature for all those banks, banking institutions, financial institutions, even the national government to easily be onboarded. We call this the e-verify system, wherein we expect that the digital form of the national ID would be accepted and honored by most, if not all, of our banking institutions and government institutions.
Okay, can you walk us, Asek, because I noticed, I have been using the eGov Super app since you launched it, and medyo nag-iba yung interface when you click the middle icon, which is the one that links to your national ID. Now it's a bit more complicated. It looks a bit more passport-ish with sort of like a hologram logo. Can you walk us through how this works and why the QR code is not working right now?
Well, the QR code, baka when the time that you tried it, it's not working. But right now, because of we updated our system, it might be working now. But more or less, you see those holograms, as you said, and the barcodes. These are all security features in order for us to build a single trust system. When you say a single source of truth and a trust system, it means that pag ito ho ang pininisinta nyo doon sa mga banking institutions, at nakita ko yung mga security features na to, which they can verify using various systems and applications din po, they would know if this the digital ID or your digital form of your national ID is the legitimate one. Kasi we try ho na for various reasons na we try it na baka mapeke or baka ho ma-clone. So we try to put as many security features as we can on the national ID system, being that it would be considered as the single source of truth for many of our institutions.
Asek Aboy, since all these personal and private information will be, very accessible nga, in the digital space, how can we ensure the protection of all that information given the past incidents of data breach and mga hacking nga in government agencies' websites like PhilHealth, PSA? So just how can we protect all these data online?
Pinaiting naman ho natin, we strengthened our cybersecurity capacities when it comes to the PSA database system. Let's all remember, let's put things in context that, the custodian, as mandated by law, is still with the PSA. Kami lang ho sa DICT are there to help provide the digital form of our national ID, but the custodian of such data and the safeguards of those data are still with the PSA. However, the DICT, in constant communication and cooperation with the PSA, has instituted several guidelines, and we help them improve their technical capabilities and their cybersecurity posturing when it comes to protecting these data.
Does that include buying, what do you call this? The software, the antivirus software, which, by the way, that was a problem last time with PhilHealth. They didn't have updated antivirus software. Does strengthening the infrastructure involve buying software, buying infrastructure, paying more for these data centers, more secure data centers?
Yeah, to be fair naman po sa PSA, they already have certain measures in place. With DICT, in its partnership with the PSA, tested the systems, and whenever we found any vulnerabilities, we made it known to the PSA and helped them remediate. Tapos naman, we recommended some safeguards that needs to be put in place in order for us to, protect these data. Tama ho kayo, these data are very valuable and they must be safeguarded. In fact, there's a whole new law. There's a law when it comes to data privacy, so we take that very seriously.
Asik Aboy, since you're here na rin, no, when I use the eGov Super App, usually yung application ko lang dyan pag dumadaan-daan ako sa airport kasi doon mas mabilis tsaka nakasave na yung data ko, right? But I've been wondering kung yung ibang government agencies ba na on-board na rin yung mga serbisyo nila sa eGov Super App because it has been a while since we had an update on that.
Tama po. Tama po. Ang pinaka-prominent feature ng frontline services ng eGov Super App would be its e-travel feature. But marami tayong memorandums of agreement and memorandums of understanding with other government agencies. I believe that 2 other government agencies already have onboarded their frontline services. That would be the GSIS for government employees. And as you said, yung PhilHealth natin is naka-onboard na dyan. So I don't know if completely onboarded na sila, meaning that you can... I know for sure you can see your data there. You can verify your data there. But when it comes to your application for your benefits, I'm not sure. I have to get an update from the eGov unit of the ICT. But rest assured, I'll update you then once I know you know.
What's the recourse for people who don't have smartphones, who aren't able to download QR codes, for instance, or who aren't able to, download the eGov app, right? So what will happen to them?
Yun naman again, this is in partnership with PSA. We were tasked to help PSA to roll out the digital form of the IDs. It doesn't mean that they will no longer issue the physical form. So mag-i-issue pa rin sila ng physical form ng national ID system po natin.
Would you know, Asik Aboy, kung the reason bakit puspusang hinanda tong digital version is because lalo pang matatagalan daw ba yung mga cards? I know this is not your department, but baka lang...
You have to ask the DSP.
I know, but baka lang may alam kayo.
Baka may magalit din, no? Pero no, in all seriousness. No, we were tasked to help roll out naman kasi nga medyo matagal because of the several challenges of the PSA. And naintindihan naman po natin yung mga challenges na to na nangyayari naman sa atin sa gobyerno, especially when it comes to budgetary restraints natin and the availability of the supplies. So again, tama naman kayo, since there is a push for digitalization, a heavy push for digitalization in government, the President mandated that, since baka matagal pa talaga, mag-roll out na rin ang digital form ng national ID natin. Kung kailan mag-alalagay at magbibigay ng physical cards, tawagan natin si Yusek Dennis Mapat at yung PSA Baka I'm not competent to answer that question.
Fair enough. Asik Aboy, I just wanted to ask if there's a possibility that these digital IDs could be, make a fake one, or maybe Photoshop, and for people to create these fake versions of an ID since it's very easy to manipulate online digitally.
Well, they can try. kaya nga we had several beta testing and we had several versions of the digital form of the ID. But again, we have put enough safeguards and enough security features in the digital form of our national ID. So it can easily be verified now by the end users. When I say end user, whether it's a bank or a national government agency that accepts the digital form of the national ID as a valid form of identification for various transactions.
Okay, Asek, quick follow-up lang, no? What if merong establishment like a financial, usually banks lang naman yan and government agencies that reject, no, some applicant who's using only the digital copy in the absence of the physical copy.
Who
Saan
can
po
they
ba
go to? Yeah,
as usual,
that's
saan po
always a problem with the execution.
It is.
Well, the primary agency nga ho, with regards to the implementation and enforcement of the national ID system would be the PSA. However, we also have a complaint center and a consumer protection center, complaint unit here in the DICT. So pwede nyo rin ho kami tawagan so we can coordinate with the PSA. I'm expecting ho, pag completely rolled out na to, there will be some amendments to the IRRs of these laws para naman ho to force and to mandate these institutions na talagang i-accept yung digital form ng ID natin. Right now, it's like on a voluntary basis pa lang naman.
Okay, sorry, my last question is coming from the control
No,
room.
but
driver's license.
Wait. Can you just share the number of that hotline as well as which social media channels people can reach you by?
Well, sa DICT, it's 32. It escapes me right now. Not off card ako. 1326. The ICT hotline number. Well, when it comes to the email, we'll just send it to you. I'm sorry, I don't have it with me right now.
But on social media, can they message you through Messenger, for instance, through the official DICT?
In our Facebook sites po at saka yung mga social media sites natin.
Okay, that would be much, much easier for everyone, I believe. Lastly, may mga
Yeah,
nagtatanong.
1326, there you go.
Okay.
1326.
The hotline is 1326.
So kung may hindi mag-honor, pwedeng tumawag sa 1326 or mag-message sa mga socials ninyo. Last question, driver's licenses. Asek Aboy, magkakaroon din ba ng ganitong version, digital, that's valid, and hindi pwedeng tanggihan ng mga traffic enforcer?
Right now ho, ay nakikipag-ugnayan at saka nakikipag-usap po tayo sa LTO, Land Transportation Office. But unfortunately, we have not come to anything conclusive right now. But hopefully, magkaroon po tayo ng agreement with them that, we can roll out their digital form of the driver's license then as well. Kasi the ICT is always here to help. We're always ready. Nakahanda naman po kami sa kakaling kailanganin yung tulong namin. Pero we won't force ourselves upon our other government agencies. We respect their independence and their respected jurisdictions.
Okay, very well said. So far, bottom line, not for sure anytime soon yet, but you're always open.
It's a driver's license, yes.
Okay, yes, a driver's license. But national IDs are all online. Thank you so much for joining us for more good news tonight. DICT Assistant Secretary Aboy Paraiso. Thank you.
And before we go, here's something exciting. It's official. Signal TV will be the official broadcaster of the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. The MVP group of companies is gearing up for its biggest coverage yet in chronicling the journey of our Filipino athletes at Paris 2024, which will commence from July 26 to August 11. As the official broadcast partners, Signal TV, Smart, and PLDT are set to provide a multi-platform coverage on free-to-air, pay TV, OTT, IPTV, digital, and social media. In addition to their paid channels on cable TV, some Olympic Games will also be broadcast on TV5 and RPTV. Some matches will also be streamed on YouTube and the social media accounts of Smart Sports and Puso Pilipinas. Signal will also produce a mini docu-series titled This Is Our Team. The series will showcase the intense training of our athletes at the training camp in Metz, France, just a month before they compete in the Paris Olympics.
The DNA of our group, the MVP group of companies, is really sports. Alam po nyo yan, we brought in the FIBA World Cup we're going to bring in we will help in the volleyball hosting, diba? We support Gilas Pilipinas, who is still up for the qualifiers in July. So nasa puso po talaga ng MVP group of companies ang pagdadala ng the biggest sporting events in the world.
Very exciting. It's how many days to go? I've lost track. Pero next month,
less than
July
2 months.
is the
2
kickoff.
months, 2 months,
2 months
yeah.
ago. Yeah,
Very exciting because it's possible we could win another gold medal.
Maybe more.
Maybe more, yes. We have Carlos Yulo and EJ Obiena, of course, our front runners for getting that, hopefully, second and third gold medals for
What
them.
about other sports? Like, what are you curious to see? I know you've been covering sports, so I'm sure you're following and you're invested in these
Oh,
stories.
boxing. I'm really eager to see if we can finally win a gold medal in the...
From Nesty and Carlo
From
again.
Nesty and Carlo, because we've always won silver, bronze, but we have yet to get a gold. And I think we have a strong chance in boxing.
Oh, yeah.
Any other sleeper sports there? Like, I don't know, skating
maybe. Swimming.
Didn't they introduce some new
archery.
sports
They
this year?
have, I think, breakdancing, right?
Is it?
Breakdancing?
We'll have to check. But
I
that's
don't think
interesting.
anyone qualified from the Philippines for breakdancing, right?
Maybe it's an exhibition sport. So
maybe.
Oh, good news though, we did have someone qualify for the Paralympics.
Yes, we have
Just one
person who qualified.
So that's one thing to watch then.
Well, maybe we can somehow interview that person.
Yeah.
I'm very
would be
curious to know about
But
that.
it's less than it's less than a month, isn't it? Or no? You said 2 months.
July.
End of
That's
July.
right, July.
Oh, yeah,
so it's
yeah.
already June 10th. So it's like just a little over a month. It's kickoff to the Paris Olympics.
Just about
So
6
lots
weeks,
to watch
actually.
out. Yeah, lots to watch out for.
Right. All of this excitement. It's only Monday, but that's it for the big story tonight. Join us again for the rest of the week.
We are One News, all sides, all the time.
Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.